moms and dads, anyone who happens to be listening. Welcome to the next week of our look at instruments and instrument families. This week we are talking about percussion family. There are literally millions of percussion instruments in the world. Anything that you can strike or hit, shake, or scrape is a percussion instrument. We'll talk a little bit more about that, and we'll look at some videos that I definitely think you'll enjoy, some demonstration videos on some percussion instruments. But just looking at this page right here, you can see some instruments that we have in our classroom and some that we might not have in our classroom, but you'll see them in the high school and the middle school and Doomer School as you start to move through the upper grades here in Sandwich schools. So just looking here under the P there and moving across, we have some claves, and a lot of times you see me, Mr. A, carrying around some claves. And then there's a blue hand drum, a couple bongos. You see some crash cymbals. Usually in second grade, we have a lesson where we learn how to play cymbals the correct way. And then a snare drum, that beige looking drum under the FAM up there, that is a snare drum. Below the claves is a güiro, not a weirdo. Mr. A is a weirdo. That's a güiro. That's a Mexican instrument that you can scrape and you can strike. Then you have some maracas, those blue instruments right there, maracas. Temple blocks, we have some of those at every school. The big red drum is a bass drum. Then we have a xylophone or marimba that has the Yamaha on it. Underneath the güiro is a cowbell. And then we have some jingle bells, a wood block. There is oh, it's the name's missing me. It's under the triangle. It's got two names. Oh, it's an afuchi. That instrument down there in the bottom left corner, that's an afuchi. You grab a hold of those beads and you turn the handle back and forth, which makes a scraping sound. There's two castanets, and then we have some xylophone bells, a conga drum, and then timpani. Those two timpani drums right there, and those are pretty cool as well. So these are just some of the percussion instrument, but like I said, anything can be a percussion instrument. So if you look at this slide, this is some things you might find around your house. Cleaning supplies. You could take a brush and scrape it against a bucket or scrape it against a dustpan. You could strike the bucket. You could shake something up. Please don't do this unless you ask your family first, whoever happens to be at home. But the demonstration and the explanation I'm making is that anything that you can strike or hit, anything you can shake, anything you can scrape could be a percussion instrument. See a folder and a couple pens that could make a drumming type sound. There's some binder clips or an envelope. You shake that in the air. In the right corner there, you've got some kitchen supplies, all kinds of things you can do with kitchen supplies. You could set up a whole drum set with bowls and spoons or something like that. Again, do not do this unless you ask your family first. Please ask mom or dad, grandma, grandpa, stepmom, stepdad, whoever happens to be at home. The garage is usually full of all kinds of different things. I'm just looking at a ladder and a couple screwdrivers. You could make a whole drum set with the ladder. So really, you could get creative, and anything around your house could be a percussion instrument. Anything you can scrape, anything you can shake, or anything that you can strike. Now let's take some time and look at some videos. These I've picked some pretty cool videos that are Some of them are really cool, and some of them are really interesting, and some of them are just kind of weird on percussion sounds.